What drugs are you saying you were under the influence of?
Methamphetamine.
Okay, so why did the meth make you strangle a cat?
I'm not sure, ma'am. I also have mental health issues.
And what's the R9329, State of Texas versus Macy Blair Malone? Now parties approach and announce for the record for the state.
Hank Wilkins for the state, Your Honor.
Defense.
I'm El Dapper for Macy Malone. Ready?
And are you Miss Malone?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Are there any applications on this case?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Malone, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Your Honor.
Ms. Malone, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review this with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you're charged with cruelty to non-livestock, torture, etc.? And that is a third-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in, the right to remain silent?
Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Malone, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 4 years in the prison, and there are no applications. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense?
That is the plea agreement, Your Honor.
State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Then to the offense as charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
State any evidence.
Yes, Your Honor. I offer State's Exhibit 1 in the attachments.
Any objection? Any objection?
No objection.
Going to show you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in, the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports?
Yes,
But
Your
most importantly, there will be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Honor. Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor. If I could just state one thing on the record. Your
Yes.
Honor. There were some mental health concerns, but we did have her referred to Carruthers. She was examined for competency and sanity, and both of those have been resolved.
All right. So she was deemed to be competent.
Yes, she does have some severe mental health issues, but she is competent and she was sane at the time of the offense.
All right. So why are you strangling a 2-month-old cat?
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
No, I mean, I know you're sorry. You're saying you're sorry you did it. I'm asking why. Why would you do that?
I was under the influence of drugs.
But you were eating at Sonic when this happened?
Yes, ma'am.
What drugs are you saying you were under the influence of?
Methamphetamine.
Okay, so why did the meth make you strangle a cat?
I'm not sure, ma'am. I also have mental health issues.
And what's the mental health issues?
Bipolar.
All right, so again, we're back to the point. So I'm assuming, and correct me if I'm wrong, you were not on your medications?
No, ma'am.
All right, so you take meth. So how does that translate into strangling a cat?
Your Honor, there's no good explanation for strangling a cat.
Well, no, I mean, here's the thing. Sometimes you're on drugs and you do certain things. So I'm just trying to figure out if meth caused her to strangle a cat, or is there something else going on?
According to the diagnosis from the psychologist, there was also some issues with bipolar disorder. When you mix being bipolar with meth and homelessness, it's all just a bad combination. I've asked her what her plans for the future will be. She's indicated she wants to work as a waitress. She eventually, once she's done with prison time, will live with her mother. She wants to avoid the bad people and the bad situations that she was involved with.
Okay, so how does taking meth, being bipolar, equal to strangling the cat?
As we said earlier, there's no excuse.
Well, no, I'm asking her.
Sure.
Like, what was your thought process? Because what I'm reading is there were two tabby cats running around. And so what go from two tabby cats running around enjoying themselves to double knotting a rope around one tabby's neck?
I don't have an excuse, Your Honor.
Well, I mean, I know you don't have an excuse, but I'm trying to figure out what was your thought process?
I'm not sure what my thought process was at the time.
Well, I mean, did you have a rope on you and go get a rope, or how did that work out?
I don't remember because I was on drugs.
All right. Anything else?
Okay.
All right, I'm going to sentence you to 4 years in prison. Give you credit for any time served. There's to be no contact with any animals or children. Well, I should say, or minors. So you're not to have any contact with minors or children. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Or animals.
Yes, Your Honor.
So what that means is if you decide to give birth and have a child, Child Protective Services, if they're doing their job, they're supposed to come in and remove that child. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Anything else with regards to sentencing?
No, Your Honor.
I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you've waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And just one moment. All right. Who is the man you were with at the drive-in?
Jonathan Smith.
Jonathan Smith?
Yes.
All right. And there should be no contact with Jonathan Smith. All right. That's all.
That's it, Judge. Thank you.
You're welcome. Court is calling Night Mag number 708742, State of Texas versus Karen Garniga. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Hank Wilkins for the state, Your Honor.
Defense.
Johnny Rodriguez, Office Garnica.
And are you Ms. Garnica?
Yes.
All right. The state has filed a motion to increase your bond. Defense, have you had a chance to review the motion?
I am, Your Honor.
And are you ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. State, do you have any witnesses?
We don't have any witnesses, Judge. I just have argument based on the violation reports. This is the fourth violation report, Judge, and on the first page of my motion, there was a violation report.
Just one moment. Could you pull the violation report on Karen Garnica for me, please?
I have it, Judge.
Thank you. All right, state.
So, Your Honor, what we're asking for is for the bond to be raised to $100,000 with full house arrest GPS. The reason we're asking for that is this is the fourth violation report, Judge. On the first violation report, which was filed May 17th of 2023, The defendant was continued on ignition interlock. Just a little less than half a month later, on the 30th of May, there was a second violation report where the bond was increased from, I believe it was $35,000 to $50,000 and continued on ignition interlock. And then a month later, in June of 2023, there was a third violation report. The defendant was supposed to continue with no driving, in-home breathalyzer, and add drug and alcohol testing random. This is the fourth violation report, Judge, and so the reason for this violation report is non-compliance with the random drug and alcohol testing with diluted samples. So it appears to the state that the defendant is not complying with the conditions of her bond, so we're asking that her bond be raised. We're asking for the addition of the full house arrest GPS, Your Honor. This is, the code says you can set reasonable conditions of bonds to protect the community, and so that's what we're asking for, Judge.
All right. Any objections to the court reviewing the violation reports, counsel?
No, Your Honor.
All right. So the court will note the first violation report. She was continued. That was signed by Judge Nahara, and that was on May 18th, 2023. And that violation report was due to the failure to enroll ignition interlock. Then the second violation report, which was signed by Judge Nahara, there was a bond increase of $50,000, and the issue was failure to enroll in ignition interlock. Then the third violation report was signed by Judge Nahara, and that was from June 22nd, 2023. And the issue was high BRAC readings. And so that was to continue with no driving, in-home breathalyzer, and drug and alcohol testing. And now we're here on the fourth violation report, and the issue is non-compliance with testing. All right, counsel.
Yes, Your Honor. May I ask her? Yes, what is?
Sure. Can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, you can lower your hand. Make sure you keep your voice up. State your name for the record.
Karen Garnica.
All right. Counsel.
So you heard the first violation about the initial lock. Can you tell us what was happening at that time?
I did not have a vehicle to install the interlock
And why was that?
because I have just crashed my truck.
And my understanding is that you had another vehicle under your name?
Yes, I did a favor to a friend and I took out a car under my name, but he's the one paying all the bills.
So he paid the bills, insurance and all that, and all that
Yes.
stuff?
I'm
So-
sorry, you're going to have to speak up and slow down. I can't understand your questions,
I'm
counsel.
saying that. So you don't drive the vehicles as well?
No,
So you haven't driven any vehicle since then, correct?
no.
And can you tell us what was happening at the time where the bond were raised to 50,000?
The
When we went to the judge, and the bonds were raised to 50,000.
second violation was also because I do not have a car and I couldn't install the internet.
And did you fix that?
Yes,
How did you fix it?
we gave me a portable breathalyzer
And when did they when did they give you the portable breathalyzer?
on June 10th.
And have you had any issues with that since then?
At the beginning, because I had never used one, so I didn't know certain foods and drinks will make it a false positive.
I'm sorry, what?
Because I didn't have experience with the breathalyzer, so I didn't know that certain foods and drinks would cause a false positive.
And what foods, drinks were you taking at the time?
The very first time I had eat a grilled cheese sandwich, and apparently the cheese and hot bread will cause a false positive.
And were you also drinking energy drinks such as Ghost and Powerade and
Yes, I drank pre-workout.
Ed, have you been drinking those drinks since then?
No,
And regarding the last violation of two diluted sample, what did they tell you about that?
that I drank too much water before taking the test, so it came out too diluted, and it was suspicious.
Okay, and when did they tell you that?
February, and it was the very first time also I had taken the
And
I'm sorry.
when did you do that?
No, she didn't hear what you said.
Okay, when did you take those drinks?
No. What you just said, repeat it.
Oh, the very first time when I took the UA, they told me I had drank too much water. On the 9th also, I believe it was 3 times.
Okay, and were there any consequences because of that?
No.
Did you have to come more
Oh,
than one
yes, I'm
time?
sorry, yes.
Did you have to come more than one time to San Antonio to be tested?
Yes, I'm testing weekly now.
Okay, when did that start?
On the night,
Okay, and are you currently working right now?
yes.
And where do you work at?
Marmol y Granito Unido,
How long have you worked there?
almost 4 years.
And what do you do with the monies that you earn from your?
I help out with the rent and the bills at home,
How much do you pay for the rent yourself?
625,
And for the waters and utilities and electric, how much do you?
around like 150.
And what are you asking the court to do today?
To please keep things how we have them.
Why?
Because if I get in house arrest, I might lose my job and I won't be able to help out my parents with the rent.
Okay, and you haven't engaged in any criminal activity since then? Since you heard, Judge?
Oh, any questions?
Yes, ma'am. Hi, Ms. Garnica. My name is Hank Wilkins. I'm one of the prosecutors here. If I ask you anything that you don't understand, just let me know and I'll rephrase it. Okay? So where do you work?
Marmol y Granito Unido.
Is that what a case? What is that?
MA. It's we sell granite for the countertops at home.
You sell granite?
Yes, marble quartzites like for home.
Okay. So what is the name of it?
Marmol, MARMOLYGRANITO.
Okay. Okay. All right. And so you're saying your testimony to the court is that the false positives were due to a grilled cheese sandwich, energy drinks, and too much water.
Yes.
Okay. I pass the witness, Judge.
All right. Any other questions?
Judge, so we have no more questions for the witness.
All right. The court will hear argument. State.
Your Honor, this is the fourth violation report. We believe this bond increase in the GPS full house arrest is necessary to protect the public. With the alleged offense is intoxication assault. These violations reports, I believe, show a continued behavior and also escalating behavior. And I don't find it particularly credible that grilled cheese sandwiches, energy drinks, and too much water caused all four of these violations, Your Honor. So that's why we're asking for the increase in the bond amount and the full house arrest GPS, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I would ask for the court to consider what the Ms. Garnica said. She said she didn't know. She ate a grilled sandwich, but most important, she said that she was drinking power drinks and energetic drinks as well. And those contain a derivative of alcohol. She stopped drinking those things. And concerning the interlocks, she had a portable device. She would finally issue one. She hasn't engaged in any criminal activity whatsoever. She has tried to remain as compliant as possible. I understand. I don't think this is the case where it's warranted to go with the orders what the state's asking. I will ask the court to keep it the same. I don't want her to lose her job. Her family depends on the job, and she's already going weekly, coming weekly to San Antonio for the testing. I think that should be enough. That's all I have.
All right. So state, wouldn't this be solved?
Inside this Texas courtroom, the case quickly turned from routine to deeply disturbing. A young woman admitted to killing a 2-month-old kitten, but when the judge asked the most important question, why, there was no real answer. Claims of drugs, mental illness, and homelessness filled the room, yet none of them explained the cruelty behind the act. The judge pressed for accountability, making it clear that some actions simply cannot be justified. In the end, the court sentenced the defendant to 4 years in prison and issued strict conditions banning any contact with animals or minors. A stark reminder that in the eyes of the law, cruelty carries serious consequences.
The issues be solved with full house arrest?
Sure, Your Honor. Yep, that would work for me.
All right. What I'm seeing before me, counsel, is continued violations.
Judge, if I may,
Yes.
on the first two, Your Honor, there was a hearing, I believe, with Judge Najera, but there was an issue with the portable device. Went back and forth trying to get the bond. I don't think that those should be held against her. And the latest ones, power drinks, stuff like that, she did admit that she didn't know about it, but now she knows about it. So I would ask for the court just to keep the same, Your Honor. If she needs to come twice, 3 times a month, I think she's already coming once. I think that in itself, it's a sanction